Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rijvyati karunya sudhabhivrishtya. Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste. Vishuddha Sattvasya gunah prasadah Swatmanubhuti parama prashantihi Trupti praharsha paramatmanishta yaya sadanandarasam samrichati. Vishuddha Sattvasya gunah prasadah Swatmanubhuti parama prashantihi Trupti praharsha paramatmanishta yaya sadanandarasam samrichati yaya sadanandarasam samrichati. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. I think many of us have that delusion that self-realization is a sudden thing, which suddenly in your meditation you will suddenly feel you have realized the self. I think I also had that kind of a feeling. I don't know what kind I felt. But when I came at the feet of Pujya Swamiji and my life started in the ashram at his feet, I was constantly pestering him that with all the sadhana that I am doing, why is it that I am not realizing the self? And all my questions, the questions will start in a different manner on the same subject. But round, it will go into that, why is it that I am not realizing the self? So Swamiji used to say, I remember one day he said that, see, self-realization is not like this, that one day suddenly you will get up in the morning, you will have two horns written there, self-realization. So everybody will know you are self-realized and you will also feel you are self-realized. It is a process of osmosis. It will slowly come, drop by drop, drop by drop. And he also said that it is absolutely essential that you stay near the Guru and learn from him. The sadhana that you do outside, if it takes 12 years, you will take 12 days near the Guru by associating with him, loving him, trying to understand what he wants, and following his path, also serving him in whichever manner it is necessary. And he said that you just be, because I used to be I must have been pestering him too much. One day he said, do nothing. Just move around like a 12-year-old girl. You don't have to do any sadhana. Don't read anything, don't chant anything, don't think about anything. Just be natural, be yourself, and look after everything in the ashram, look after the devotees, look after the workers, look after whatever is to be done in the ashram. So that became, and he said, do nothing. Also he said, I am your Guru. When I am saying this, you must do it. So what this do nothing meant, I could not understand. Actually, we are constantly thinking that I am doing spiritual sadhana. Now, the worldly people, they have their aims and aspirations. When we take to spiritual path, our aspirations are different. And we feel that I am progressing or not progressing, and why I am not progressing, or I have progressed, I am a jnani, I am this, I am that. Even that becomes a bondage. So he said, simply think about nothing, be yourself, be free. That do nothing meant be free, be free. Not that you will withdraw from all your sadhana. So what becomes to reach that do nothing state, that is akartritva, non-doer state. In the spiritual language, it is the akartritva state, the abhoktritva state, where you are non-doer and non-enjoyer. Not that you are not doing anything, you'll be doing everything. But you will never have that feeling of ego, that I. The greatest impurity in us is that I-ness. That I am this, I am that, or I am not this, I am not that. This I-ness comes so much forward that we get bound by that. So we are discussing this purity, and I am taking a sloka, trying to tell you that state where this I-ness feeling goes away. But in this sloka it has not mentioned like this. It is only telling you what are the characteristics you will get when you are pure, when you have been able to remove all your impurities. But the greatest impurity is because of the I-ness and mine-ness. I am this, or this is my identity. What is the identity? Everybody has an identity: name, form, weight, height, qualifications, possessions, property, respect, prestige. ये मेरा है. This is with everything. My family is this. I have so many children, and the children are settled or not. So with that, I have a limited, at a particular identity of mine. And we act and interact with that identity. That identity is identifying with myself, which we know that is perishable. The I that we feel, that my name is this, my qualification is this, my family is this, is a perishable thing. It will die, the body will die. But that self, the real identity, has to be found out. As long as we identify with that perishable body-mind intelligence identity, we will be having this kind of impurities, which will be manifest in the form of desires, possessiveness, ego, etc., etc. So, the actual removal of impurity as we grow forward, I was constantly telling that we start with gaining good qualities, removing the undesirable ones, and slowly we will understand that it all means not to identify with the body, mind and intelligence, but to identify with the self. Then slowly as we progress, you will find that every work, every action, every interaction, every thought, you are able to do not forgetting the real identity, that I am the self. जो अभी नहीं हो रहा है, अभी हम लोग याद नहीं रखते हैं कि हम I am the self, I am not the body. अभी कभी कभी याद हो जाता है, या नहीं तो ऐसे एक माहौल पे याद हो जाता है. In this kind of a situation, in the lectures or when we are discussing and when we are reading, we understand, we remember, not otherwise. But slowly when we start purifying ourselves from the traits that needed to be purified, we slowly, unaware, we will be going to that state where we will not identify with the body anymore. And we will be identifying with the self constantly. तो उसे शुरू करना है. So now I'll go back to that sloka. Vishuddha Sattvasya Gunah Prasadaha. And we did that. The characteristics of Vishuddha Sattva is Prasadaha, placidity or pleasantness of the mind. And this placidity is not which we are familiar with. That when we want something, we got it, we are very pleasant. Or we don't have much of difficulties and problems in life, so we feel very pleasant and satisfied. Not that. This placidity comes to the mind without any object, without having any object in the mind. This graces the mind effortlessly, without any cause, any interaction with any object. It just effortlessly comes. It is spontaneous in nature and it is eternal. So, आगे क्या है? So further, it is experience of the self, swatmanubhuti. I think I was doing that, swatmanubhuti. So the experience of the self within oneself. The Atma is no more hunted or sought in meditation or samadhi. This is what I was just now saying. That now we try to hunt for or seek the Atma through reading, through listening, through contemplation, through meditation. And we sit for meditation, we are constantly seeking the Atma. This is not that. You will be seeking that, but slowly you will have the experience. Absolutely, you will be established in that. No more seeking will be there. When we do not have something, we keep on looking for it. Suppose I am sitting and you say that ab baith jaiye, koi arth to nahi hai na. So I am established in the self, so why do I need to have the self? So you will reach that state where you are in constant abidance in the self. And so the experience of the self becomes natural, continuous, and all enveloping. These words are very, very important. It becomes natural, it becomes continuous, and all enveloping. So even when we are reading this, you will be reading such things. You are reading also. At every point you should stop. Reading also has to be done in a manner that it helps you. Not only that feeling that, Acha, I have read it, I have understood it. No. What does it mean by natural? It will become natural of you. Just like your identity of now. Say, ye Dr. Jyoti hai. She knows that she is a doctor. She stays in Karnal. She has come for this program. Each one of you has that identity. For each one it is different. Just like that is natural. And over that, whatever you are feeling that your identity is, over that, now Ma is taking the class. After that, Pushpa Samarpan will take place. Or evening, Swamiji will take a class. I did not understand something which Swamiji spoke yesterday. All those things are happening. But this identity that I am Dr. Jyoti, I have come from Karnal, this is not lost. Is it lost? No. Mohan has come from Hyderabad, he has come with his sister. That is not lost. And all the things were happening, they are coming and going actually. इसके बाद आप उठ जाओगे, फिर पुष्प समर्पण होगा, दिन खाना खाने जाओगे, ये वाला बहुत अच्छा बना है, कल ये वाली सब्जी बहुत अच्छी बनी थी. These thoughts will be, it will come naturally. And with that, your identity you have not forgotten, that I have come from Hyderabad. I have come with my sister. We came on such and such day. We are going to leave on such and such day. If not forgotten, is it forgotten? No. Now, just as that is natural, you have to have your self-identity as natural. Whatever you do, you are remaining in the self. From that self-identity, you are doing everything. You never forget that you are the self. That kind of a state is possible, my dear children. It is possible. It is possible. Only thing, you must be committed to and aspire to have it. And that aspiration also initially it will be a little mixed. Even if you feel it is sincere, you will find that it is not sincere. Your mind is going in different directions. So whole sadhana is to become wholesome in that aspiration. Whole sadhana is to have that one-pointedness. You do everything. Maybe you do not even come to listen to anything. You do not get any chance to, but whatever you have gained as a knowledge that I am the self, and that is my real identity, start dwelling upon it, dwelling upon it, dwelling upon it, every now and then, and that becomes our, unchanging identity, which is the truth. So, it becomes natural, continuous, and all-enveloping. What is all-enveloping? As I am saying, whatever you do, whether you are doing some domestic work, whether you are in your profession, whether you are going to the market, whether you are simply sitting and thinking about something, every time you have not lost this knowledge that I am the self. Even if it is lost sometimes, even that loss is in the self. You understand? Everything is in the self. That feeling. हम एक वो बताते हैं उन दिनों में ना we used to से बहुत साल पहले की बात है, बहुत पुरानी बात है. Swami ji, as he comes to Delhi, we go to Jamshedpur also. So that time, and Jamshedpur is a place which has always been, people are very devotional. There the ladies, most of them at that time, I'm saying, not nowadays, most of the devotees and the initiated disciples, couples, the wives were not really knowing English. So Hindi jante hain, but Swamiji would be speaking in English. But I have seen the devotion in them. Every evening they will dress up nicely and go and take the front seat. जैसे इधर है ना, उस समय एक हॉल में होता था, मद्रासी सम्मेलनी एक, there was a hall. So for many years till our center came up, the lectures were there. So there initially there is a dari where people will be sitting and then chairs were kept. All these ladies जाके बैठ जाएंगे और आंखें फाड़ फाड़ के सुनेंगे. Actually कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, but they will be so much delighted just to look at Swamiji's gestures and moving of the hands and the voice. So I just told this because it used to be very much, the devotional atmosphere was quite much. So anybody to remain in a devotional atmosphere, it gives lot of energy, devotional energy. And Swamiji was leaving. So that day, now I'm going along with Swamiji and coming, but that particular time, I was to go only after 2 days, return back to the ashram. So people were very sad and sorrowful, as it happens when Swamiji leaves from the midst of the devotees. Everywhere, here also people are sad. So everybody was showing their, sorrow. Then I started feeling sorrowful myself also. Then I was thinking that why I'm feeling sorrowful. After 2 days I'll be going back to ashram. But it was to go away from this devotional atmosphere. So next day morning, when Swamiji had left, next day morning I got up with that kind of a feeling. And in that feeling, I had a sudden revelation. I thought that, what is this? I am thinking of Swamiji having left Jamshedpur and gone back to ashram. So his absence is making me sorrowful. What is this absence? In this absence, about whom am I thinking? Absence also, I am thinking of Swamiji. So when he is there, it is Swamiji. When he is not there, then also is Swamiji. And the meaning of that shloka, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. That became as if like a bright sun. It came to me. That from the Purna, if you take out anything, the Purna only remains. So this all enveloping means what? In your dukkha you will find the self. In your sukha you will find the self. In your profit you will find the self. In your loss you will find the self. You will Purna. You are the Purna. That will happen. And to go there, as I say, every step is enjoyable. Because that is the state I am aspiring for. Then, this experience of the self leads the seeker to a state not only of prasada, but the seeker's mind is graced simultaneously with parama prashanti. So, swatmanubhuti happens, prasada happens, placidity. Also what happens? Parama prashanti, supreme peace. And next is tripti, contentment. When there is contentment, जब तृप्ति होती है, जब तृप्त हो गए, शांत हो जाता है मन. जब तक तृप्त नहीं होते हैं ना, तब तक मन में अशांति होती है कि ये चाहिए, ये ठीक नहीं है, इससे अच्छा कुछ होना चाहिए था. So unless the tripti comes, shanti will not come. So triptihi praharshaha. So triptihi, contentment, praharshaha, exhilaration. That self spontaneous joy. You will feel always a little joy, blissfulness. And paramatmanishta, wholesome abidance in the Supreme Self. What is this paramatmanishta? It is that state where one is full and complete in Atma. You cannot think yourself different from it. Same thing, Swatmanubhuti. When Swatmanubhuti is there, Paramatmanishta will be there, because you are finding whatever you are doing, that self-identity is not lost from you. So, Paramatmanishta, state where one is full and complete in the Atma. A seeker's abidance in this state is exclusively in the Atma and nothing else. The seeker's life then carries on, led by this nishtha. This is very important. I told you, everything you will be doing, but with your identity and abidance in the self. Self को भूलेंगे नहीं, मेरा क्या identity है, actual identity self है. Thinking that, being in that, abiding in that, all your actions will be there. Then, everything you will do rightly. You know, Brahmaji, he is the creator. He keeps on creating. So, once Narada is his son. Narada told him, asked him, अच्छा आप हमेशा सृष्टि करते रहते हैं, आपसे कभी गलती नहीं होती है? क्योंकि हम लोगों में गलती हो जाती है, हम काम करते हैं एंड देन वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट ये इस तरह नहीं करते, दूसरी तरह करते तो ठीक होता, ये वाला गलत हो गया. आपसे गलती नहीं होती है? नारद जी ने पूछा ब्रह्मा जी को. तो ब्रह्मा जी बोले, नहीं, हमसे गलती नहीं होगी कभी भी, इसलिए क्योंकि हम श्री हरि को अपने हृदय में बिठा के रखे हैं, बहुत ही उत्कंठा से, बहुत ही आनंद से, बहुत ही भक्ति से, प्यार से उनको अपने हृदय में धारण किए हुए हैं. और उसी लिए ऐसा जो भी आदमी है उसका कोई भी स्टेप गलत नहीं होता. सो वहाँ पे डिवोशनल टेक्स्ट है तो श्री हरि का नाम ले लिया. हियर वी आर सेइंग व्हाट? यू रिमेन इन योर आइडेंटिटी. नेवर फॉरगेट दैट यू आर द सेल्फ. एंड व्हाट इज दैट? इट इज नॉट अ सेंटेंस दैट आई एम द सेल्फ. आई एम द सेल्फ. अरे, not that. That is mechanical. Self means what are the characteristics of the self. Self is akashavat, taintless. Self is without any taint. Akashavat, niranjana, nirakara. It is imperishable. It is unmoving. No change is there. No affectation is there. No affliction is there. So whenever there is any affliction, any problem, go and sit in yourself. Yaad rakho that no, my identity is not to be affected. And every day so many things happen by which we start having so much of, I won't say affliction, but disturbances definitely in the mind, agitations in the mind, lack of clarity in the mind, indecisions of the mind. So what do we do at that time? We should remind ourselves, I am the self. Actually, I am one who should not be affected. There is nothing to be affected. And whatever is to be done for that particular situation, you do. Never withdraw. Do whatever is necessary, whatever. And your clarity of thought will increase so much that you will find that you are taking the right decisions. If you abide by the self, all these things will happen. Triptihi praharshaha paramatmanishta. This is the paramatmanishta. So every work will be from the viewpoint of a seeker who is abiding in the self. A seeker's abidance in this state is exclusively in the Atma and nothing else. He will not depend on जाके पूजा दे देंगे तो ठीक हो जाएगा, एस्ट्रोलॉजर के पास चले जाएंगे, पत्थर रिंग पहन लेंगे तो ठीक हो जाएगा. वो सब नहीं रहेगा उन मन में. Even if it was there, you will find the futility of those things. You will understand that if I am able to be in myself alone, remembering that this is the most strong factor in my life which gives me fearlessness, तब और कुछ ही चीज़ का ज़रूरत नहीं है. The seeker's life then carries on, led by this nishtha, soaked in the understanding that everything is self and self alone. Soaked in the understanding. Feel it. That you are soaked in the knowledge that you are the self. सोक करने से क्या होता है? एक ब्लॉटिंग पेपर है, there is some ink has fallen, you go and put blotting paper. What will happen? The blotting paper will soak away the ink. Similarly, this knowledge has to be soaked in all the cells, in all the perceptions, in all thoughts, and all actions and interactions. Mind you, when I say this, sometimes I find that people become very struggleful. It should be all effortless. So maybe you try, your aspiration is this, to soak yourself. You find you are not able to soak yourself. Don't become depressed. Try again, try again, try again. Aspiration is the main thing here. Be aspiring, be committed, sincerity. और अगर sincerity भी नहीं है, I can tell you, I told you that I started my this path at a very young age. So I would feel that all these things, aspiration, sincerity, all these, and I'll find that I slip from them. मन को कहीं और चला जाता है, कुछ और चीज़ अच्छा लगने लगता है. So क्या करें? So I would cry and weep to God, please give me sincerity. Please give me sincerity. Cry to God. Cry to your own self, own indweller, that I want this quality I want. Because of sincerity, lack of sincerity, I'm finding that even though I'm aspiring, nothing is happening. एक श्लोक है ना, नान्या स्पृहा रघुपते हृदये स्मदीये सत्यं वदामि च भवान् अखिलान्तरात्मा भक्तिं प्रयच्छ रघुपुंगव निर्भरां मे कामादिदोषरहितं कुरु मानसं च. ये तुलसीदास रामायण से है. So the bhakta, the devotee is saying that, O Raghupungava, O Rama, I do not have any other desire than having bhakti towards you. Na anya spriha. In my heart, I do not have na anya spriha. I do not have any other desire, any other want. Any other means there should be some want. What is that? Bhaktim prayachha. मुझे भक्ति दीजिए. किसके लिए? निर्भरा भक्ति. That is, my bhakti should be such that I depend only on you. To nothing else. Not my family, not my children, not my wealth, property, my education, nothing. We feel that when we have lot of money, we feel that चलो at least disease होगा तो हम अच्छा एक हॉस्पिटल में चले जाएंगे और अच्छे डॉक्टर के पास चले जाएंगे. पर with all that, are we able to save lives? Are we able to save lives? Go from this side. We are not able to. So, there is no use depending on any other thing than oneself. Then he says, Bhaktim prayachcha raghupungava nirbharam me kamadi dosha rahitam kuru manasam cha. He says that bhakti, nirbhara bhakti, all relying bhakti will come only when the bhakti for other things will reduce. So, why are the other things becoming more important? Because we desire those things. So, in the next line, the devotee is saying, Kamadi dosha rahitam kuru manasam cha. मेरा मन जो है उसको प्योर कर दीजिए. मन अगर प्योर है, प्योर ऑफ व्हाट? ही सेइंग दैट प्लीज मेक माय माइंड प्योर. फ्रॉम व्हाट? ऑल द दोषा, ऑल द डिफेक्ट्स और द इम्प्योरिटीज ऑफ कामादि, द डिजायर्स एंड अदर थिंग्स which take my mind away from you, away from the devotion, away from relying on you. Although I call you, although I feel that I must have bhakti, I rely on other things. So, let my mind become free of all other desires. Let me understand that I should rely only on you, and let my mind become pure. This is the sloka. So, at any time that whatever the seeker does, when one, by repeated aspiration is there, aim is there, you become more and more sincere, more and more wholesome. You get joy in becoming pure and purer. You will reach that state of Vishuddha Sattva when you have this Paramatma Nishtha. Anything you do, it is grounded in your knowledge. Grounded. अभी क्या होता है, वो grounded नहीं है, हिल जाते हैं. So, whatever the seeker does now, he is never disconnected from the self anymore. The self is an experience. Self is experience in a pure and transparent mind when it is rid of all desires and expectations which are the root cause. What is this? Kamadi dosha rahitam. I told you, I gave you the example of clean water, not being able to see. Mirror which is dirty, you have to clean it every day. So, the self will be experienced when the mind is absolutely clean. And the mind should become transparent and pure. What is the mind transparent and pure? Rid of all desires which agitate you, disturbs you, makes your mind go away from the feeling of the self. And ultimately it is this I-ness and mindness, which also today I explained. So it is the root cause of agitation in the mind. Just as in the absence of fuel, fire gets completely extinguished, in the absence of desires, the mind becomes supremely calm forever. Do you get it? Whenever we burn something, there is a fuel. When the fuel is over, the fire will be extinguished. So, which is the fuel for the mind to become agitated? Desires. Desires and expectations. So, when you are able to sublimate the desires, then the mind will become absolutely calm. In the Vishuddha Sattva state, every quality is opposed to desires. See, what are the qualities? Prasadaha, Swatmanubhutihi, Parama Prashantihi, Triptihi, Praharshaha, Paramatmanishtha. All these are opposed to desire. If desires are there, then you will not be fully getting the benefit. So slowly we should be removing the desires. So in the Vishuddha Sattva state, every quality is opposed to desires. Desires simply fly away. As a result, over the calm foundation, the inherent qualities of the self start reflecting and filling the mind. When the mind becomes calm, the inherent qualities start revealing itself. And you can then understand. And then what is, maybe you get a touch of it, then constantly try to keep the mind calm by removing the desires, so that the knowledge of the self, you become grounded in that. When one reaches the Vishuddha Sattva state, a state which is sahaja, natural, all sadhana stops. Then you are not having to have any sadhana. Stops. Stops mean what? Still you will be, this purification process should be on constantly. But that feeling, that vyakulta jo hai na, ek feeling, oh, why I'm not progressing, what further, that will stop. As a result, the joy that one is looking for arises effortlessly from within, not depending on any object outside. The joy will be effortlessly from within. Yesterday I told, Swasmin sada kridati nandati swayam nirantaranandarasena triptaha. The joy, the fountain of joy is inside, but we are keeping a curtain over it. So we are not able to understand it. Now when we do this, the curtain is removed and the joy effortlessly comes out. Now how do we reach that state? Then comes the question. I've been talking and maybe everybody is understanding also. But still, how do we reach the state? When we start doing it, we find that we are getting hindered by many things. Is it possible to reach the state? What should be our effort to imbibe these qualities, characteristic of Vishuddha Sattva state? So here is the reply. One must read the sloka again and again. Chant it repeatedly, understanding the meaning and depth of each word. Now, I would say that such shloka, where it gives the qualities of the self, by heart them. And whatever you are doing, many of the time in our day is ours. Nobody can disturb us at that time. I found out, one time is when we take bath. Nobody is there around. It is only ours. Who is disturbing us? Our own mind. Our own mind takes us away to various things. Imagination of the future, then something which happened in the past, unnecessarily grumbling over that. The time which is ours, you may say, I am very busy, I am very busy, I am very busy. Yes, we are busy, no doubt. But there are certain moments when we are alone and that time is ours. Are we using that time fruitfully? No. So that is why one must be very alert and introspective. One must find out one's own defects, one's own lethargy, one's own other interests, and root them out. Root them out. So इसमें क्या बोल रहे हैं? One must read the shloka again and again. So you read it, you by heart it, you may chant it in whichever tune you want, but you must be the words. These are characteristics of this state, which is a state actually, which is our real identity. One must read the shloka again and again, chant repeatedly, understanding the meaning and depth of each word, with deep yearning, trying to feel in oneself the import of that beautiful state which these words are representing. Prasadaha. Keep on saying prasadaha and try to feel and get drenched by that prasadaha. Do you understand? Huh? Actually, we should feel very bright. Prasadaha. And feel it, feel it, feel it. Similarly, all the words. Prasadaha, swatmanubhutihi, parama prashantihi, triptihi, praharshaha, paramatmanishtha. Each word, it should not be only chanting. It is true for any other chanting. People become very fulfilled, sometimes very proud even. I know so many shlokas. I know the whole of Bhagavad Gita. I can chant without seeing. I can chant the whole of Vishnu Sahasranama without seeing. What of that? It is just a feather in the cap. You have to understand, if you are a seeker and you want to progress, if you are not that, then it's okay. But if you are also having this feeling that I want to progress in this path, then each and every word you must joyfully, get drenched by it. It should give you joy and slowly it will become yours. Anytime you are in difficulty, you will be able to get grounded in that, established in that. And then everything will seem very absolutely trivial. So, with deep yearning, trying to feel in oneself the import of that beautiful state which these words are representing, try to absorb and assimilate it. How one reads, how much one rejoices in the meanings, and how much one absorbs will depend on one's sincerity of aspiration to reach the state. So, again we come back to sincerity. And suppose you don't have sincerity, cry. That is what I know. Crying to my own indweller. That why is that you are not giving me sincerity. I want it. And see the result. If you can do that, you know what is that crying to oneself? Humility. In spiritual seeking, one must have humility. Gratitude and humility. A feeling of blessedness. Blessedness that I am in this path, that I have come to know this path, that somebody is there who can explain to me. And humility. Unless the humility is there, you will not take to all that is being told fully, 100%. You will try to conveniently take it. Whatever you can do, making your mind go to other things, इसीलिए नहीं हो रहा है, बाकी हम कर लेंगे, वो तो नहीं होगा कभी. Not that. So this wholesomeness. So with this crying to oneself, it is like it is becoming humble, that I want it. I want it. And you know what happens when a child is there? Say suppose a child, mother is working, child को बिठा देते हैं, कुछ toys लेके बिठा देते हैं, खेलो तुम. So child will start playing, then he becomes bored, then starts crying. So mother will come and give a sweet to him because she has to finish her work. The child will eat the sweet. Then child remembers, gets bored with the sweet or maybe finish the sweet, so again it will cry. The mother will give something to engage the child again. Ultimately the child is so desperate, starts crying howlingly. Then what will mother do? Even if she has more very important work, mother will leave everything and pick up the child. Till you cry, you will not get the Atma Kripa. Till you cry. You have to cry to yourself that I want it, this is what I want, nothing else I want. Because whatever you are giving me, I am not getting satisfied. Even in spirituality, we are not satisfied. We are pursuing the spiritual path, but we are not satisfied till we become fulfilled, till we reach that state, yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha. That state, attaining which we will feel that nothing more we want. Contented, absolutely. Till that time we have to cry. Swamiji tells many times, one must have an emotional heart in spirituality also. Must have an emotional heart. Show your emotions. If you are not given to showing your emotions, make a habit of showing your emotion. Make a habit. How will you make the habit? Just speak, I like you very much, or I feel lot of emotions but I am not able to express it. Be straightforward, that I don't know how to express my emotions but I like all of you. Love is the greatest emotion. You must make others feel that you love them. Love is the greatest emotion. Greatest emotion to become pure. And love everybody. Not only the people whom you know, not only what you like to do, only love that. No, anybody and everybody, love them. So, where were we? One must try to absorb and assimilate it. How one reads, how much one rejoices in the meanings, and how much one absorbs will depend on one's sincerity of aspiration to reach the state. One must rub one's personality with these words. You get? One must rub one's personality. ये नहीं कि that you have to make a lot of effort. बैठ के एक जगह बैठ गए तो rub one personality. It's not like that. Whatever you are doing, assess yourself. Oh, I had an interaction. Did I keep my composure? Did I have in this, sometimes interactions are quite difficult with people. So could I remain grounded? Did I lose my prashanti? Did I act feeling that I am the self? So I do not have any bitterness with the person. When everything is the self, who will have dislike for whom? Who will be angry with whom? See, we are only knowing the concepts. God is all-pervading, self is all-pervading, Brahman is all-pervading. But what is the actually practically so? If that is so, and you know this, and you are practicing this, who will dislike whom? Who will be fearful of whom? Say I am scratching here, and my finger just pricks my eyes. Will I scold my finger? तुमने क्यों मेरा आँख को लगा दिया? Why? Because it is part of me. We are taking food, and many times we bite our cheek. Do we scold the teeth? Why you have bitten the cheek? It is myself. Similarly, when you are abiding in the self, slowly this knowledge should come to your help when you are becoming angry with somebody, when you are disliking somebody, when you are bitter with somebody. It's not that you should give in. No. Whatever is the right you do. But not with a bitterness, not with a ego, not with an ego, not with a feeling that, oh, ye to buddhu hai, main to sab kuch janta hu. So that feeling of differentiation goes away. That is what you are remaining, abiding in the self. One must rub one's personality with these words. Purity will dawn automatically. And frequently one must assess, am I like this? When am I going to be like this? Why is it that I am falling from this? The real effort to reach this supreme state is in understanding and wanting, aspiring. A burning desire. There should be a burning desire. Mumukshutva is necessary. Even if one does not reach the state fully, see, reading, chanting and contemplating on the meanings of the words lovingly and with a burning aspiration will make a seeker gradually get soaked in these qualities and bring about in his mind peace, contentment and atmanishtha. What is that? We will not be able to get it in one day, na? Horn ho gaya hai. Vishuddha Sattva I have got. No, it will be only in steps. So till that time, don't be depressed. Even if one does not reach the state fully, reading, chanting, contemplating on the meanings of the words lovingly and with a burning aspiration, so at every step what is happening will make a seeker gradually get soaked in these qualities and bring about in his mind peace, contentment and atmanishtha. I think lot of things have been said for purification. Now I will take some points from Prabhat Rashmi. I've got about 10-15 minutes. Swamiji is saying in Prabhat Rashmi, this is the first volume, in 18th page, this I won't say the page number because this is the old publication. So Swamiji is saying this is purity and meditational fruition. This is the chapter. What is this purity? How can one judge whether he is becoming pure or not? First, purification means reduction and extinction of desires. The desires may be secular, worldly, or they may be spiritual, otherworldly. So desires can be secular, in material world, whatever we desire, that is a desire. But even in spiritual seekers, there are desires. So, what kind of desire? That I am progressing well, am I progressing, am I better than, does my guru feel that I am a good seeker? Or am I doing better than this one? See, the jealousy thing, competition comes in between two co-disciples also. And one will feel that I know, I have understood my guru's preachings very well. This one doesn't know. All these things come in as hindrances. In Vedanta, Vairagya is defined clearly as Iha Amutra Phalabhoga Viragaha. Disinterestedness towards enjoyment of pleasures or rewards in this world as well as in the other world. So the secular as well as the spiritual desires will have to fall completely. Even spiritual desires have to fall. Spiritual desire means that to be known as a spiritual person. That is the greatest obstacle of a spiritual person. People should feel that, oh, he is a spiritual person. He has, even त्याग का अभिमान भी अभिमान है. जो सन्यासी होते हैं कि ब्रह्मचारी हो जाए त्याग कर दिया है, उनका भी अभिमान होता है. देखो हम लोग हाउस होल्डर से ज़्यादा हैं. So this abhiman is also an abhimana. Everything should be, every desire has to be renounced. So, ego of a seeker ego of a scholar, that I know all these scriptures, I can talk very well, I can explain very well, I have read everything, that is an ego. So, the spiritual desires also is an hindrance. A mind which does not strive to eliminate desires, note this, a mind which does not strive to eliminate desires cannot be considered as pursuing purity. Purity is absolutely necessary in this path, but suppose you feel, many people, when Swamiji sometimes in his satsangs will ask, so they will say, कोई desire नहीं है. That means you are not introspective. Desire नहीं है, वो हो ही नहीं सकता. ये नहीं कि मुझे रसगुल्ला खाना अच्छा लगता है कि स्वीट खाना अच्छा, not that kind of desire. But many other desires, clinging to things. So, if you are not attentive to where your mind is going away, if your desires were not there, your mind will be on your real identity. You would be thinking of the self only. Only because of desires and expectations, our mind is constantly going out. And you have to find out what are those. Only oneself can find out. Nobody else can tell you. So, if you are not attentive to that, and if you are not striving to eliminate desires, you cannot be even considered as pursuing purity. The second aspect of purity is the lack of ego. With the dawning of purity, the ego must steadily decline. What is the ego? One is the ego of a seeker. I am a seeker, or I am a jnani. I have read so much. I have understood all the concepts. And what is this ego? It is a strong notion about one's separate identity, I, with regard to anything whatsoever. I will do this is an ego. I will not do this is also ego. Is also an ego. I understand this is an ego. The other person does not understand this is an ego in oneself. So all these things are ego. It will be very much evident in your tone of affirmation, how you are talking. Your ego will be understood from your tone. So what I was saying, humility. Always feel that I don't know anything. I have to learn from everybody. Don't give yourself a certificate. In spirituality, we do not do it. But I think we will progress much better if we ask others, what do you feel about me? In which areas do I need to improve? Don't give the certificate that I have improved now. I have improved. That is your certificate. You are thinking. Well, whether others are thinking like that about you. So, in fact, any sense of doership with regard to any action done or to be done is ego. This kartritva and bhoktritva bhava. The third sign of purity is a feeling of non-possessiveness, nirmamatva. Possessiveness can be there only around the possessor, around the ego of possession. Any feeling of possessiveness with regard to anything, initially it may be worldly things. Worldly things, I possess this, I have this, right from wealth, property, qualification, prestige, name, fame, family, everything. We feel that this is mine. Initially it may be worldly things, and later on it may be with regard to even spiritual attainments, must gradually decline and finally become extinct. स्वामी जी बोलते हैं ना, आजकल बहुत बोलते हैं, I am nothing, I want nothing. ये बोलते हैं. So this becoming a zero. And there is a great vastness and joy becoming a zero. I possess nothing. So this feeling. So this is purity and meditational fruition. But I'll go to another one. I'll take 15 minutes more so that it gets over. So I was telling you that even this desire and expectation, we have two purify our traits which agitate us. We have to strengthen the traits which make us calm. And slowly when we go forward, taking help of this sloka only, that prasadaha, swatmanubhutihi, parama prashantihi, triptihi, praharshaha, paramatmanishtha, all these things as we go forward, step by step, I told you some time back, that we'll find that our I-ness, identification with this body, that I am this, it brings about the desires and expectations. So what has to be eliminated? This I-ness, and mindness. I am this, and these are mine. These are mine means not only the object sphere, say family, possessions and all that. Even my own ideas, views, these also bind us. I feel this is my view, and I will not be moving from that view. So another person tells something about a particular thing. If your view is not that, you are not open to take the other's view. All these are ego. So Swamiji one day has spoken about ahankara and mamata, how to get rid of them. Do you read this book? बहुत अच्छा है, और पर थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ना चाहिए. ये नहीं कि एक पढ़ लिया मैंने पूरी बुक खत्म कर दी 2 दिन में, वो नहीं है. पढ़ो एक एक करके, read every word and apply to yourself. Are you like this? Why am I not like this? What will I do now to become like this? And then in your day-to-day life, try to see how you are not like this actually. This is your aspiration, you are liking it very much. We are liking the qualities. But we find that we are failing, we are quite away from it. So what is to be done? This kind of feeling. And when this kind of feeling engulfs one, there's lot of joy. You know, it's like an adventure. It should become like an adventure giving you joy. But यही है कि सबका मन ना दूसरे तरफ चला जाता है. You like other adventures, going out, sightseeing, इधर उधर. अरे, why don't you make an adventure in yourself? And that you can do doing everything. You go for sightseeing, you do your household work, but constantly having and analyzing, work going on, that while I am doing these things, am I seeing that I have grown in these qualities? Everything should enrich us. So there are 2 kinds of experiences, an experience that comes from an interaction and that which comes without interaction. Our aim must be to get enriched subjectively with the result of every interaction. This is what I was saying. Every interaction should actually enrich us. Enrich us means what? Taking us, being grounded in the self, real identity. Initially it will look that I have improved upon a quality, but slowly it is actually I am being grounded in the self, my real identity. With the result of every interaction, irrespective of the external result. This subjective enrichment is gained by making every interaction produce a purifying and sublimating note in the mind. There may be interactions which are very difficult. There may be problems in the life which are very, very difficult. You do not even know how to solve it. But from that, a purifying, enlightening, enriching experience we must be able to gather. If we are able to, then there comes, suppose you try hard and you are not understanding how this situation can enrich you. Ask your Guru. Ask like-minded people. If you are not in touch with your Guru, ask that how to enrich yourself. And this purifying and sublimating the mind, I think it is never complete. As long as the body is there, it will go on. The other day I was asking Swamiji. That is my now new question. So I have been always very open to Swamiji, always asking question again and again, again and again. I am blessed that I had that opportunity. So my new question is, Swamiji, now so many people want to talk to me. When there are many people in the ashram, some people are visiting, maybe few are visiting, some for 2 days, some for 3 days. So I see in their eyes a question, Ma, when are you going to talk to me? Now, with my all my work and the slots which I can make out to talk to somebody, I have to, if I talk to 1 or 2, I will miss out on another 2, 3. So I can see the disappointment and the dukkha in their eyes. So my question was to Swamiji, Swamiji, this must be happening to you also. How is it that you remain so unperturbed? I get perturbed. I feel very sorry. Then Namrata will come and tell me that no, you have to look after your health also. So some days I will be constantly meeting people or in between telephone calls from other centers, other people. So she feels that I should be looking after my health. So I tell Swamiji that how do you make your mind unperturbed, even in this? This is a spiritual question, no? Unaffectedness in everything. So Swamiji's reply is very good. I know that reply actually. So I have to be grounded in that. What is that? Swamiji says, you just tell that I'm not able to meet you, but my mind is with you. You understand? It is a straightforward reply. But showing the love for the person. Showing the love, and the person will also understand. So this is where we express our emotions and make a person feel that yes, you are in my mind, but maybe I'm not able to give you time right now. Another day I will give you, or maybe not this time. So only when you ensure that throughout the day, whatever actions or reactions you have, there is a progressive enrichment and purification taking place in you, you can consider yourself to be a sadhaka or a seeker. See, he's saying this. That is, only when you ensure that throughout the day, whatever actions or reactions you have, there is a progressive enrichment and purification taking place in you, can you be considered a sadhaka or a seeker. The extent to which you are able to remain equal, able to accept favorable and unfavorable outcomes with equanimity, will depend on the purity of the mind. How you are pure, you'll be able to face the favorable and unfavorable conditions in the life. The mind should constantly watch the reactions, responses. There I was telling, one has to become very alert. Alertness we should not lose. Alert and introspective. The mind should constantly watch the reactions, responses, and remind itself to guard against undue elation or depression. Undue. This word undue is very important. If we become spiritual, it is not that we are not having sukha and dukkha at all. I think we feel for others much more than one's family people feel. We feel unconditionally. Our heart goes out. That is why it goes out to everybody. So you should grow in that direction. But so, how will you do that? You have to guard yourself from undue elation, undue depression. And you should make your mind equal. Have this equanimity to reactions, responses, etc. Ultimately, it comes to a question of ahankara, ego, and mamata, mindness, possessiveness. Externally, the ahankara and nirmamatva and mamata may have relevance to persons, places, or events. But ahankara and mamata can work even with regard to subjective factors. So externally क्या हो सकता है अहंकारा? You show your pride and your ego for other things about your possessions, that I have so much money, or I'm so much educated, or my family is very good, etc. But subjective ahankara is very difficult to renounce. What is a subjective ahankara? Subjective ahankara is about your birth and lineage, position in life, achievement in life, etc. A disciple now, spiritual, it becomes spiritual now. A disciple or a seeker may have an ego that he is very close to the Guru and the Guru will listen to whatever he says. That is an ahankara. One may feel, whatever I do, the Guru knows. I am doing exactly as the Guru thinks. That is an ahankara. One is stuck to that ahankara and not really wanting to understand what the Guru wants. When I came to the ashram, so much of physical work, domestic work was there, which I was not used to. Especially when I think the initial Guru Purnima programs, which used to be, Guru Purnima program is a huge program there, and not many people to help those days. So I would have to miss the lectures. Guru Purnima morning and evening there would be lectures. Swamiji would suddenly call everybody and start extempore talking. Maybe he has written a letter to somebody. Somebody has asked a question, so he has replied it. He'll suddenly call everybody and start reading the reply. Very interesting. But because I have to do a lot of work in the background. So Swamiji told one day, your feeling should be not what you like to do. You like to listen. Grow from that dimension to this dimension, that you are enabling many people to listen. That joy is much more than the joy that you have been having. So this is how we grow. Then what happens? The mind then starts thinking about others. Like yesterday I was telling that all the people who are in Vasundhara, they keep coming regularly. Why not we meet them? Why? Because feeling that they should have the opportunity to come closer to Swamiji. They are only seeing Swamiji sitting here and listening and going away. But they must have a constant interaction with Swamiji. So this is how one starts feeling. So then a disciple may have an ego that he is very close to the Guru and the Guru will listen to whatever he says. Mamata can be with regard to anything, towards the married partner, children, parents and the like. Mamata fostered to anything is bad. Why should there be mamata? So many words have been uttered by the mouth. Do you think the tongue has any mamata for the words? No. It's a good example. How do we get rid of ahankara and mamata? Ego elimination, self-effacement is most important for spiritual progress and fulfillment. It is not an easy path. It will take place successfully only when you live in close proximity of the Guru. We have attachments to our possessions and that makes us proud. Ego is a result of the various assumptions we make. I am educated, I am refined, I am cultured, I am of high lineage, I am a knower of truth, I am a sannyasin. All are egos. Any kind of ego is bad. Think well and deeply. What is there to be proud of? Nothing in nature is under your control. Nothing has been created by you. Can you be proud of your own body? It subsists on water, air, food, etc. None of which is your creation or under your control. Can you therefore be egoistic about it? It is all a delusion. That we feel that we are under control, we can do this, we can do that, is absolute delusion. तो ये खत्म ही नहीं होगा. चलो, you can read yourself. This page I will this one I will read and then stop. Actually ये कभी खत्म होता भी नहीं है. So any kind of ego is bad. Think well and deeply. What is there to be proud of? So nothing is under our control. Just like a mother takes food when she is pregnant, to be going to be a mother, takes food. Very good food, very well looked after by parents, in-laws, husband, everybody. But is there any guarantee that the child will be healthy? Or the child will be weak? Child will be handicapped? Child will be retarded? Is there any control over that? So this very simple example, we should always remember that anything we do, we are not under control. We can only do this much. God has given us mind and intelligence and this body. We can be an instrument and work very well, excellently, perfectly, trying to do the best. That is the offering. That is the offering we are giving. We read in Bhagavad Gita offering, the word offering. What is the offering? Offering is this. Using our body, mind and intelligence to give the best to any work, any activity. Don't be lethargic. Don't be preferential. Whatever comes, do it the best, even if you don't like it. That is an offering. So, this attitude should be there. And can you be proud of your own body? It subsists on what, etc. So, can you therefore be egoistic about it? It is all a delusion. Get rid of this delusion, and for that, be watchful, self-examining, and introspective. This is a continuous effort in spiritual sadhana. Continuous effort. This purification and trying to be pure is a continuous effort. And that continuous effort only makes you feel more energetic. Should feel. You should feel. Even if sometimes you feel a little depressed, don't look into that. Again, just get up and start doing. Knowing that, have that faith. This is the Guru Vakya and the Shastra Vakya. Our scriptures are saying this, our Gurus are saying this, so it will happen. Okay? Sampurnam Jagadeva Nandanavanam Sarvepi Kalpadrumaha Gangam Vari Samasta Vari Nivaha Punya Samasta Kriyaha Vachah Prakrita Samskrita Shruti Shiro Varanasi Medini Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishti Parabrahmani Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishti Parabrahmani. Jai Guru, Jai Guru.